Hello YouTube, welcome to Market Watch. We have an exciting week ahead of us because regionals start this weekend. It's important to look at the market and see what the price point is of certain decks. Are there any good pickups, any good buys, any good sells, all that sort of stuff. And that's what I'm going to focus the bulk of Market Watch on today. I have a few miscellaneous items I do want to talk about, but after that we're going straight into what you need to know for regionals. So that being said, if you guys like this content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn the notification on the smashed potatoes. That way you know when all these amazing Digimon videos go live. We have the Omnimons here. There's really not too much exciting action going on that's different, so nothing really crazy. However, I do want to turn your attention to the second anniversary card set, because these cards are now out. And as you can see here, very good value for the box. Anyone that pre-ordered this box at the low is doing very well for themselves. I got a few just sitting, chilling. I'll probably touch them in about 5 years and see what happens. But, you know, I want to talk about the singles in a sense that there are a few singles here that will stand the test of time and even go up in value. Things like the Omnimon, the War Greymon, and insert a few other choice picks here. Those are all cards that will eventually go up in price because they're nice collectible value. The meta-usable cards will probably go up in price, like some of the hybrids, that kind of stuff. And while some will go down, the sealed product will just go up over time. We will reach a time where people aren't just selling these willy-nilly for this crazy price on the internet. And then give it some years, and we'll see what happens. They'll be up. So I did want to bring your attention to that. The single grabs might be reasonable grabs right now for the golden cards. Maybe you chill a little bit on the hybrids. But this is a pretty foreign product. We don't have too much exposure to this in a Digimon trading card game. So I'd give it some time and see what happens. Eximon is one of the decks that you should expect at regionals. People do really like the deck, and as such, people have been buying this card, and now it's practically gone. Yeah, I would not get into the hype right now, but if you have some, I would definitely consider selling. Now I want to talk about the miscellaneous items besides that. We have the Ultimate Cup cards, the Gallant Mon, Gallant Mon line, whatever. While I am probably shooting myself in the foot for saying this, because I'm trying to sell my stuff, you should wait. You should wait. Because just like last year's Ultimate Cup prizing, they all went down over time. And the Gallant Mon cards themselves, you know, they're good cards, but they're not meta-defining. You know what I mean? So I would definitely give it a break. I would not pay mind to this. And while I have your attention on cards like this, these Ultimate Cups also started circulating in Pack 4. Now, I haven't noticed that the singles made TCG Player. I couldn't find any at the time of recording. But the Event Pack 4 singles will be listed on TCG Player for absolutely horrendous prices very, very soon. And I don't recommend buying anything from Event Pack 4 right now, because you guys saw it happen with other Event Packs. They just go down in price over time. So I would not bother with anything like that. All this price support, if it's just for the collection, just wait. Wait it out, and you'll probably be okay. Now, miscellaneous items aside. Regional decks. Things you should expect to see at the regionals. The Xmon Crossheart deck. Definitely. It might be the best deck of the format. Potentially. And what's nice is this deck is perfectly budget. This is the most expensive card. And you're playing anywhere from like 0 to 4. So it's completely flexible. Your tamers are cheap, your rookies are cheap, like your cross pieces are cheap. The Mervamon is cheap if you play that. The X3s are cheap. The X7 is cheap if you want to go that route. It's a very budget-friendly deck, which is really, really nice. But expect to see it everywhere. The deck is really cheap. There's nothing really good to flip. Not really. Malga. You know, we made a joke the other day on stream. I believe it was Monday night stream, where we were commentating the GFG locals, and the finals of the first locals back to, you know, regional format, the final 2 decks were Malga decks. The joke was, oh, we're back to BT9, how nice. But for real, this deck will be seeable at regionals. You will see it. The most expensive cards, technically the most expensive card in the deck is this, followed by Cool Boy, followed by probably Promo Wear Garurumon and Davis. But the deck itself is very, very budget and cheap. Like, $150 tops for the deck. Nothing crazy at all. You can do Crossheart for even cheaper. $100, not even. It's pretty good. This deck, Grandis. You will see Grandis at regionals. absolutely there will be people playing Grandis at regionals. And you gotta play 4 of this card. That drives you almost $80. You gotta play 3 or 4 Mimis. That's expensive. But the rest of the deck besides that is actually nothing. I was pricing it out roughly under 150. Get this deck, no problem. It's a good deck. It's a very powerful deck. So definitely you gotta have this one on the backbone here. Insert X antibody comment here. Cool Boy still up 4Y. That's what's going on here. Cool Boy, you do need it for some strategies, like, you know, Malga, other X antibody decks, Gallant Mon even. But, like, let's bring your attention to another one here. We have the promo Agumon here. This is the most expensive card if you are building either Black War Greymon or War Greymon X antibody, the OTK deck. And you're only playing this in Black War Greymon if you're playing like the red base still. Some people really like the black base now because it gives you access to the black X antibody, which you technically got anyway. But like it's black, it's in theme, and you can stick X antibody underneath it to save it, like Greymon X. Okay, fine. This card is more expensive than anything else in the War Greymon deck, I believe. Even Tai is cheaper. I have that up there somewhere, I think. It's the cheapest card. These decks are budget. Black War Greymon is a budget deck. You know, if you're playing 4 lists and 4 Cool Boy, just like War Greymon, Black War Greymon, the rest of the deck is really not much. You can build both decks again for under $150. It's insane. It's good value, and you will see these decks. So maybe something to keep in mind. Searcher, D-Reaper. I did produce the winning deck profile on my YouTube channel, won 2 of my locals in a row, going 9-0, I believe, in 2 locals. Because everyone is so hyped on Eximon and other decks that have level modulation-based effects like Malga, for instance, you know, D-Reaper's not looking like a solid choice, especially with less Black War Greymon, less Red Raid deck. D-Reaper seems pretty reasonable. And D-Reaper, except for Death Xmon, which is over here in the wrong spot, lol, it's a cheap deck. If you play 2 Death Xmons, your deck is $100 plus D-Reaper cards, which are nothing. Look, it's a budget deck, which is really, really cool. Another deck that plays Death X are your insert purple name decks here. Like Mervaloop and Mastamon. These decks all play Death X, or can play Death X. If you're not considering Death X, Mastamon's still expensive. If you want to play Manandramon, that's the most expensive card. If you want to play Lucemon Chaos Mode, that's your most expensive card. And that's kind of how Mastamon is. Mastamon is an expensive Tier 2 deck. It's more expensive than any of the top 3 decks of the format. I'd probably stay away from it, but you know people are going to give it a try for regional format, right? And the egg itself, the egg for these purple decks, is the most expensive card. I believe this is more expensive than any other card in the Murmur Box deck. The egg. The egg is the most expensive card. Murmurmon's like $1.50, Minervamon's $1, the Cerberuses are $1, Analog Youth's like $2-3. Like, that is nothing. It costs nothing to play that deck. Now, to play these purple decks, you do need, you know, some brain power. I do not advise going into a large tournament like regionals with nothing short than 100% of your brain power and play perfectly. Otherwise, you will not get top 16, which is what you need for the invites. But I do want to let you know that Daemare is the most expensive card in the Murmur Box deck, and Miri is my placeholder for Mastamon. Lucemon Chaos is the most expensive card if you play that still. Alright, let's go over the Ultimate Cup picks that people are still swearing by for regional format. Alt Force. Need a place out of this, by the way. So, over $200, plus the rest of the deck. You know, I would not play Alt Force at regionals. I'm sure someone's going to play it, and someone's going to top, and someone's going to get happy at one of these regionals, BT11. I'm sure somewhere someone will do it. But I just don't see it. It gets a little bit of a buzz from the less Black War Grey lying around, but besides that, I don't really think so. Bloomlord, I can see having a piece of the meta. I really do. The most expensive card in the Bloomlord deck is Mimi. But you play Mimi anywhere from like 1 to 3 copies at most on the high end, I think. The Bloomlord deck is very budget, which is very, very cool. And, you know, again, brain power at max levels, you can do great things in this format with less Black War Grey flying around. So that's something to keep in mind. Blue Flare. Now, you're not going to hear me say the words, Blue Flare is a good deck in the BT11 regional format. I'm not going to use those words. However, people will play it at regionals. People swear by this deck. This is your most expensive card, I believe, sitting at the $7 range. It's a very budget deck. Very cheap to play. Cross strategies tend to be very reliable options. So there you go with that. And Machine Dramon. People are still swearing by Machine Dramon, even in Ultimate Cup format. Sorry, in regional format. Because now you can play non-black sideboard cards, which is kind of neat. That is a cool little trick. People think it has a good matchup against Crossheart. I don't really see it. Unless you have multiple analog men. But if you do, then you have a good matchup against the whole deck. Everything in the meta. I wouldn't bother Machine Dramon, but people will play Machine Dramon. This is the most expensive card in the deck. And you don't even play 4 copies of it. Deck's pretty budget, in my opinion. Eximon. Talk about a winner of the Mulligan rule. Eximon is a very piece-reliant deck, where if it gets off Eximons, it's the best deck in the format. Or close to it, I was going to say. If it doesn't, it's like the worst deck in the format. So you got, and Mulligan helps you with that as well, right? Would I play Eximon in a regional format? I personally wouldn't, but I can't deny that does good work against Grandis. It does. Against Malga, it can be annoying, but nothing crazy. Against Crossheart, I don't think they care, to be honest. If their stuff dies because it gets blocked, material saved, go again, whatever, you know what I mean? Not really a big deal. I don't think you should play Eximon if you want your invite, but I'm sure there'll be a few people that do try to play Eximon regardless. Beelstar has an interesting conversation topic. They got a new toy in the Beelstar starter deck, as in the Rivals Barrage, but people are also playing the Millstar deck too. I don't know what the deal is with that. However, all that aside, Beelstar will see play because, despite Crossheart wanting their stuff to die to security options, to be honest, Malga and Grandis would not like that, and this deck just does that no problem. So I definitely see Beelstar making an impact on regional format. I can see people topping regionals with Beelstar. For real. Like, for real, for real. Tai Kamiya here. A $13 Tamer. I guess it's on par with the Agumon from the promo that I talked about earlier. Tai is my placeholder here, not only for that deck, but it's also my placeholder for Digimon, which will see play at regionals. Fresh off an Ultimate Cup win, Digimon is an incredibly powerful deck that can OTK you literally out of nowhere. And outside of Ultimate Cup format, we got things like Miscellaneous that you can play. So double attack. That's pretty crazy. So expect to see Dorbeck. Expect to see it. And the final deck is Gallant Mon, where this is the most expensive card in the deck. Unless you play Tai for some reason, which I wouldn't do. Yeah, it's a cheap deck. I don't see it doing much, but people will try and play it at regionals, so maybe expect to see it. That's it. That is all for Market Watch. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. I believe I covered everything you should expect to see in some kind of legitimate number. Not like 2 people might play X deck or whatever, you know what I mean? These are decks that you probably will see players actually try to get their invites with. So I would be expecting to see the Shoutmons, the Malgas, the Grandis, the Black War Greys and the War Greys, and then the Beelstars, honestly. I think those are the decks to beat. And people will try to come in with other things like Mastermon, Merva Box, All Force, and you name it. I want to say Beelstar because it's a good matchup against decks that attack security. Like it's just good. It's good stuff. Not good against the War Greymon deck. Hell no, but it's fine. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys, and we will see you later. Have a good day.